What's going on, guys? Today's video is all about planning attacks on bases, what to look for, and why you're looking for it. Basically, scouting. I'll also cover if the first hit was unsuccessful, taking that new info into account and making a new, hopefully better plan. I do apologize in advance if the video is a little longer than normal, but there is a lot of ground to cover. If you feel that this video is too long and it's better off in a part 1, part 2 type thing, please let me know in the comments below. We're going to be starting off with this base right here, the first of 3, 8, 9, and 10, each base having more attacks on it, gaining new info, and maybe coming up with a new plan each time. Before we get into scouting and figuring things out, we're going to talk a little bit about hybrid attacks. Most all successful Town Hall 9 3-star attacks are going to be hybrid attacks. What does that mean? That means a phase 1, phase 2 type of attack. You're doing something first, normally a kill squad, that leads to you doing something else later. This most often second phase revolves around either hogs or loons, which are your two primary defense targeting troops at Town Hall 9. So your phase 1 has to support phase 2. So phase 2 is hogs, for example. Phase 1 needs to be removing key defenses, removing giant bombs, making pathing, stuff like that. If your second phase is loons, your first phase needs to support that. Removing air expos, removing air defenses, creating pathing, some of that same sort of stuff. So that's hybrid attacks kind of in a nutshell. This base, the first thing that I always do to scout is figure out where bombs, whether I'm doing an air attack or ground attack. I start with figuring out where the bombs are, and maybe that will key or signal me in to some sort of different type of attack. If you can totally 100% predict where the bombs are, then that's probably a good indicator of a ground attack. If it's super vague, kind of sketchy, maybe that'll key some other different type of attack. So on this base, I am using a new drawing tool. Let me know how that works out. I was enjoying it, so we'll see. So the bombs in this base are fairly limited. There's one right there. There's one right there. Those can only be one bombs, not double sets. Now, scouting and then attacking is all about assumptions. Where do I think this is? Where do I think that is? What do I think will happen if my troops do this? Where do I think pathing will be? Things like that. It's all about assumptions. And if you make proper assumptions, proper guesses, then your attacking phase will probably be very successful if those guesses were correct. However, if they were wrong, then you'll probably have a less than optimal attack. Now, one of the most solid, consistent guesses that you can make is Teslas in the core. It's extremely popular, it's common, it's effective. So if you're going ahead and making one of those assumptions, Teslas in the core is very safe. So what that would look like on this base is a Tesla there, a Tesla there, a Tesla there, and a Tesla there. Pretty safe assumption. Go back to our bomb, which would leave a single bomb right there, assuming I counted out all of my tiles correctly. Now that we have all the bomb locations figured out inside the base, we only found 3. That means there's possibly an external bomb somewhere in the base, in which case we don't really care about it, because we can probably trigger it easily. Now to actually planning the attack. So we've looked at the bombs, we found 3 of them. Now, if these aren't Teslas in the core, then there's bombs in there. So pretty much what this means is that in our phase 1 of our attack needs to cover basically that chunk of the base, because we need to remove 1 bomb and possibly all of the core if those aren't Teslas. You could also mirror it and flip it the other way. It really doesn't matter too much. I just picked this side because that's the side that's closer to the queen, and that is one of the key things that we absolutely have to kill. Clan castle, queen, and any objectives to help phase 2. Let's move the screen real quick. All right. So something about like that. We would have to push in, do that, get the core, get the bomb, and then that would leave this whole backside right here pretty much to, let's use a different color, to the hogs. Now kind of where this plan comes into problems, or at least it's slightly sketchy, is the number of troops. To do some sort of push in like this, you're going to need one jump spell right about here, along with a heal spell. Probably, you know, in the core somewhere. So that leaves you with 2 heals for your hogs, which is definitely doable. But if we count the number of defenses that I guess our phase 1 kill squad part isn't attacking, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, let's see, 13, 14, 15 defenses. Now that's a lot to be not included. And I would kind of feel unnervous. I would feel nervous about that. So I didn't really like that. It could be doable, but sometimes there's better options. So one of the things that I noticed in looking at this base when we were finding bombs is these air defenses right here. Air defense 1, 2, stacked up right next to each other. Air defense 3, air defense 4, stacked up right next to each other as well. So the air defenses were kind of, grouped up like that. I thought there might be something there. So if we think about trying to get to both air defenses, we'd have to have a jump there and a jump there to get to the second one. Okay, 2 jumps, doable. And then with the 2 jumps, you would probably need 2 heal spells. Probably one about there. Usually if you do a double jump, double heal, usually they all work pretty much at the same spots, which is kind of convenient. So that takes off all of our air defenses, and we'd have something that looks like this. Slice all the way through the base, take out all that, take out all that. Now what this does is really key, is removing the air defenses. Let's count how many non-air targeting defenses are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. You can count these other ones if you want. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So not only did we go from 15 to 11 less defenses, but there's only 5 of them are air targeting. So if we take out the air defenses, we can use loons on those other defenses, and there's less threat to the loons because they're non-air defense targeting. So that was kind of the plan that I would lean towards. Let's take a look and see how Kit actually hit the base. Kit did a really good job there of the double jump, double heal. He only lost his CC Valks a little bit, which strayed, which made that last air defense stay up a little bit longer than it should have, and lost some of the loons. But the general idea was there. Really, really good job, Kit. So hopefully you guys can see how the scouting and kind of changing up our initial plan led to a more successful actual hit, because the air defenses, looking for the bombs, cued us to the clumped up air defenses. Up next, we have base number 9, which got hit twice, one failure. We learned some stuff, and then Kit 3 started again. So let's just jump right into it and get into the scouting. This base is fairly simple. Not a whole lot of stuff going on, but there's still a couple things to look for. So number one step, again, look for bombs. Single, single, single. That could be a possible double. It would be really bad, as it's not between two defenses, it's kind of up against two defenses, but still possible. And then in the core, single possible, again, more than likely a Tesla, but could be a single. So in this base, the only real threat is that possible double giant bomb. So what you'd be looking at is eliminating the double giant bomb, because that's the only real threat to hogs. The other ones can just be healed through. So you'd probably be looking at a jump right about there to get to the core. Let's see, so probably, you're probably looking at something about like this. Path through the double, take the jump into the core, funnel, clear out, all this stuff for your funnel. Be really easy, with minions, wizards, because there's really not a whole lot of defenses. Probably get away with just one golem, and then because of the single bombs, you just probably heal where the bomb spots are. Probably, actually, we'll take that one back. Heal both bomb spots. There we go. Because it doesn't matter if because they're separated, you still hit them one at a time. So just heal both. So that pretty much lines up with where the bomb spots are and where you would need to heal anyway. So something about like that is what I would do. There's completely nothing wrong with this plan. Probably cold-blooded. I don't think you'd need a shattered. Cold-blooded is just one golem. Shattered is 2. I think that would be pretty sufficient. Nothing really complicated needs to go on here, as there's only one double giant bomb spot, and those other bases are the only bomb spots. It's within the base for sure. So with our scout out of the way, let's take a look at how Luke hits this. Here is Luke hitting the base. Remember, this is going to be a fail, so we're just going to be learning things from this. Sends in a hog to get the CC lure, found a spring trap, found out the CC composition, drag loon, so we've already got some good info. Starts a queen there to kill the CC, which is kind of odd because there's no healers on her. She has to pop the ability. Really, really late poison. I'm not sure quite what his plan was there. Usually if there's loons in the CC, you drop the poison, they pass through the CC and no loss. Sends in the one golem, just kind of like we talked about in the scout. Wall breaks in. Heal on the outside. So we got one bomb there that we predicted. The other spot was a Tesla. So now we know that there are no double giant bomb spots in the base. Has a rage spell there, another heal spell, not accomplishing a whole lot. Some extra giants. Didn't have really great of a funnel, so a bunch of troops strayed to the right there. Some troops worked their way off to the left here. King ability. No jump spell to get into the core like I kind of would have done. So the troops have to beat through the wall and ultimately fail and didn't even get into the core. The core is very valuable to to Expos, Tesla, some Archer Towers, King. So there's another bomb spot over there that we were able to predict. The other two spots were Teslas. There's a bomb on the outside, bomb on the outside. So 2 bombs were inside, 2 bombs were outside. So that was kind of surprising, but didn't really matter if we'd gone with our plan. So interesting try to look there, but we take that, our new info, and we go and we make a new plan. Alright, back at the base, and now with our new info, we can mark the bombs correctly. Wrong end there, and come up with a plan. So if I remember correctly, it was a bomb there, bomb there, bomb there, bomb there. Those other empty spots inside the base were Teslas. So now with that info in mind, plus we have a Dragaloon in the clan castle, we need to come up with a new plan. So they're all singles, so we don't really need to change a whole lot. The only thing that changed is we don't have to enter where that double is. We're free to enter wherever we want. So the way I would look at it is they're all singles. So your entry should try to pick up as many bombs inside the base as possible, because bombs outside the base really still aren't a threat and can be triggered by something. So the only 2 singles are the 2 on the west hand side here. So something that I would consider is we had that jump spell to the core, but we had that there because it was pathing through the double. With that double no longer there, we can come in a different way and do a nice jump spell right there. You should be able to go all the way from the outside all the way to the core, negating the need for wall breakers. You could do it right here too. I wouldn't see anything wrong with that, but I think with the queen, actually it wouldn't matter either way. You could come in from either way, you'd pick up a bomb, and I think you'd be good. But we're going to go with that one, and then heals would pretty much be in the same spot. 1 jump, 3 heals. Probably need a heal right about there, heal right about there, heal right about there. I'm sorry if my stuff's not totally to scale, but you get the general idea. And then on your entry, you're just going to funnel and come right into the core and then hog the whole backside. Take out some buildings for funneling. Pretty easy stuff. That is how I would do it. Let's take a look and see how Kit does it. Good job to Kit. As you can see, even though he came in from the right side and tried to trigger an internal bomb, didn't even matter. The two external ones just got triggered on cleanup, and by that point you've already won. So excellent scout, taking what you learned from Luke's hit and then applying it to your hit. Good job, Kit. Alrighty guys, here we are at our last base, number 10. This one is a little bit more complex and it took people a couple hits to get it. The bomb spots are a little bit predictable, but the pathing is what's pretty interesting on this base. So let's start with looking at where the bomb spots are and go from there. Bomb spots are pretty easy to spot on this base. There's a single possibly right there, single possibly right there, single there, and again, as I've said on the last two bases, Tesla's in core is very reliable and a pretty safe assumption, especially on these internet forum 2-star town hall center type bases. So we're going to go with that assumption again, that no bombs are there, and that leaves one bomb to be right there. So as you can see, the main threats are really all in the southern, I guess, half of the base. So as long as you eliminate from there down, this becomes a pretty easy base for hogs on the top side. So something that I would consider, there's quite a few different ways that you could hit this, and as long as you keeping those bomb spots in mind, then you're gonna be good to go. So the only real thing that we need to get here is this section right there, with the archer tower to the left and archer tower to the right. If you send in hogs straight at there, they'll path off and completely avoid the bomb. So that's where we're kind of going to focus. So I would send a jump spell right here, and then send in one golem pretty much just like that. He's going to tank those defenses, use some wizards on the side, clean up trash, send him in. Both of the hero compartments, because they're up against the wall, both heroes will jump from their compartments into where the CC is. Pretty easy, I think. And then you just send a bunch of hogs in a kind of crescent shape like we've seen on the other bases, and 3 heal spells. So pretty standard stuff. Nothing super crazy. Oh, I didn't go to yellow. 2, 3 heal. Again, not drawn to scale, but there it is. So that's a general plan. Not necessarily the only way, but let's take a look at how Thunder hits this base first. So here we have Thunder being the first person to hit this base, one of 3. So it did cause people some problems, mainly because of the pathing, if I recall. But let's watch and find out. So he quakes, gets those cannon compartments and all the way into where the expos are. The heroes would have jumped, but now he has access to the expos, so that's good too. He sends in 2 golems, they split, one goes left, one goes right. CC splits, which is a problem. He doesn't have any poison, so I guess it's not huge. But he has no way of dealing with those loons over there. Nothing really pathed that way. So the loons just destroyed his golem. He triggered 1 bomb right by the archer tower where we predicted. 1 on the exact opposite side. Sends in hogs from the top side coming down, which is kind of interesting. Instead of going in more circle. And it looks like he just didn't have enough hogs. He kind of had the plan and the idea there, but looks like that Tesla farm just really roasted him. So it looked like his kill squad was really strong, and the CC kind of wrecked him and didn't get as far as it should have, but the 3 bombs were in the bottom. Teslas were in the core, just like we predicted, with 1 bomb remaining. So as you can see here from his troop screen, it was pretty heavy on the kill squad side. 2 golems, 6 wizards, 9 Valkyries, and then another 3 in the backside with 4 quakes, 1 rage, and 2 heals, so he was more of going. My plan was more of a jump heal type thing, and he did more of a really heavy kill squad and just pick off a couple defenses on the backside with 11 hogs. But he did not get enough of a push, so his hogs died out. Here we are, back at the base again. Let's mark the bombs that we'd correctly predicted, and maybe need to come up with a new plan. So we correctly predicted 3 bombs, and those were discovered in the first hit on the base. The Tesla farm definitely proved to be problematic. He didn't hit the way the base that I would have originally scouted it, so I'm not really too terribly inclined, but we did notice that the clan castle, when he went that way and he went that way, that caused the clan castle to split. So I would definitely think, based off of that, we would only want to go one direction. So maybe come at it like that. And with the Tesla farm being the problem that it was, I would maybe think about moving my jump spell. I had it originally on the cannon mortar compartment, but maybe I would put it there to give access to that Tesla farm, which really wrecked his hogs. Something like that would be the changes that I would consider taking new info into account. And the quakes, if you're bringing quakes, this is more of a general thing than just this base. If you're bringing quakes, you need a way to deal with the CC, since you're more than likely not going to be having poison spells. So please keep that in mind. Alright, so those are some of the adjustments that we made. Let's take a look at how TB hit this base. Alright, here comes TB. Starting from the bottom again. This time it's using some minions to funnel instead of wizards, saving on some troop space. He brings in a golem from the way right hand side. Nothing that we had even predicted at all. He does have the 1 jump 3 heals though, 22 hogs, very hog heavy. So see where he's going with that. Breaks in down there. Looks like he was just trying to create a funnel. Lures the CC. Double poison. Bunch of Valks. And it looks like he's trying to come across the base and pick up those bombs through the channel. Looks like the minions. Oh, minions lured the drag at the bottom. Got a split there. Send in a couple hogs on the bottom to pick up the compartment that was all by itself. Golem triggers 2 of the bomb as it walks through the channel, but it did not get the 3rd and final bomb, so not enough push with the golem. He's then kind of doing the clockwise motion like we talked about in our scout, but it looks like that Tesla farm is going to roast his hogs. So pretty much the same thing in the Tesla farm that happened with Thunder. Cleared quite a bit more of the base this time, but splitting up that CC kill definitely hurt him. Speed through the rest of this. So you can see he took a little bit different approach. He tried to walk a golem through the channel. I definitely like that. I didn't think about that. But the CC splitting up on him because of those minions at the bottom definitely hurt him. And that Tesla farm still unaccounted for. Let's go back to the drawing board with this new info. Now we have 2 whole attacks under our belt, so let's see what we come up with this time. I really like what TB did, coming across the base and just walking through the channel instead of trying to fight it. Bomb, bomb, bomb. I did not notice, unfortunately, if the last bomb was uncovered, so I apologize for that. So I kind of like where he was coming from. Wall break in here, and then just send some defensive targeting troops all the way through to right there. I like that. So it just looks like it needs a little bit stronger of a push. So maybe we could think about something like, because we don't really need to heal. We don't need to jump into the core. So maybe, why did that not change? I apologize, guys. we go. So maybe something like a heal right there. And then while hogs are coming in, heal spell there, heal spell there, kind of overlapping for the Tesla farm. And then a heal spell there, again, sort of with the Tesla farm. Much more compact heals to do with the Tesla farm. Something like that is what I could consider. I think that would probably work, taking the new info into account. So like I said, guys, you just kind of look at the previous attacks coming in from one side. I wouldn't even funnel on the bottom because we've seen that split up the CC kill. So I wouldn't funnel there. Funneling on the right-hand side is pretty easy because there's only one defense targeting troop right there, that archer tower, and it will be locked on the golem. You can take that out with a wizard or something very easily, and then you can come in off that army camp. Wall break in, push through. It looks like a pretty solid idea to me. Tightly compacted heals for the Tesla farm. I think we might be onto something there. So let's take a look at the final successful hit of Rick hitting this base. Well, there you go, guys. That was the final successful hit on that base by Rick. Very good job to him. Surprised his kill squad didn't push all the way through and get that final third bomb. He might have been getting a little bit impatient, pressed for time there, and just sent in the hogs and knew he could heal through it anyway, and it worked, so props to him. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit long. I do apologize. I will do another video in the future on more advanced scouting tactics, as some of these bases were fairly predictable where stuff was, but you know, good introduction, beginning how to scout type stuff. As always, please leave comments below whatever you thought about this video, and leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.